All right. In case you're there, sorry. My Wi-Fi cut out. Just give me 1 second to set things up a little bit. Sorry about this. This is kind of an inconvenience, I know. So just give me 1 second. Okay. I think we're good. Sorry. All right. But we ended at it not compiling correctly. At this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to the working version. I'm just going to copy paste. I can get it working. I wanted to make this a tutorial, not a debug everything. All right, and then CPP. Make sure that worked. All right. Then our main CPP. Like I said, this is a working version of the project. I don't want no return on that. I mean, I guess it's fine, but it doesn't throw a warning if I do that. But all right, let's copy our main file. Again, all these files are linked in the description, so you won't have to deal with all this debug headache. We don't want to include the header guard in this. Main.h and then mem.h. Oh. Hopefully I didn't copy and paste some of the header guards. That would be unfortunate. Why is that spelled wrong? I don't know. All right, let's try this again. Because after we build this, then there's only one more thing we need to do. Hey, it succeeded. What do you know? When you have the right includes, it actually works. All right. After we build, we're going to come here and we are going to build an APK. We're not going to build a sign. We're not going to sign this one because this is just going to be an APK that's going to generate our shared object file. So we're going to come here to build APK. It's going to do a lot of stuff. It's going to be generated successfully. Come in here, click locate. So this is the APK that we just built. So if we come in here and we're going to analyze it, let's actually go ahead and unzip it. Extract files. We have app debug. And you'll see a lot of nonsense in here. But if we come here to ARM64 and ARMv7A, you'll see we have a lib. I called it lib twice. Is that what I did in CMake? I did it. All right. So I double libbed it, but you get the idea. It's gonna prefix it with lib. Um, this is our injection library. Um, so now what we want to do is we want to go to the original APK. So we're at the fun part at this point. We're going to copy this. We're going to go tutorial. Yeah, let's go ahead, and this is the original. So actually, you know what? Let's do this. I already have a unpacked version of this. I'm going to show you how to do that too in just a second. So there's a file within the source files that I gave you. Um, it's this APK tool 261. This is a file for extracting files and repacking files into an APK and signing them as well. I'm going to show you how to use it to unpack and decode the Android manifest and all the dex files. I'm not going to show you how to repack it back because I don't want more people modifying the game. I just want them to understand how it works. And then if you want to explore it by yourself, go ahead and be my guest. All right. So I did this before because, again, like, I'm not going to just do this live. I did this ahead of time. So command you're going to want is first we're going to unpack it. I'm going to say is it Java. Java. Oh, it's right there in front of me. Actually, I have it already. Yeah. So what am I doing right now? All right. This is the command we want. So it's going to specify Java. It's a jar file. Our APK tool. B is to unpack. We're going to give it a file and then, dang it. No, B is not to unpack. What am I doing here? There we go. Wrong command. All right. D is to unpack, decompile. We're going to give it the name of our APK, MCOC 3701, so version 37.01. And then our output folder is MCOC 3701, which it'll then generate. So if we click enter after doing this, again, it's going to do some stuff. Come on now. I clicked enter. There we go. So I was just gonna this is, you can do this with 7-zip, but it's not gonna decode the Android manifest, which we will need. So what it says, backsmalling classes.dex. So like I was saying earlier, Java gets coded to Smalley classes, which then gets finally broken down to dex files. This is just going in reverse, taking a dex and then going to a Smalley file. It's not going to copy it completely back to a Java file, but Smalleys are completely fine. It's just an intermediate language that we're working with. All right. So there is a little bit of an inconvenience, but that's for repacking here that it doesn't do very well. This meta INF file doesn't get copied completely. Just use Google to figure out how to repack it. I'm not going to tell you because I don't want to be the perpetrator of more mods, but just know that this is an error. And it has the original right here of everything. So you can specify that it uses the original. Anyway, so let's go ahead and let's open up this Android manifest. So remember I was talking earlier in the previous video now, Android part 2, not 2.1, that there's an onCreate function. So onCreate, we want to get the Unity player, because onCreate is going to create a Unity player object, and we want to hook in so it's an inline hook mod, we want to hook in our library to constantly overwrite the memory. So in order to do that, we're going to come here to our Android manifest file, and we are simply going to find that onCreate function in the Smalley classes. And in order to do that, we are going to look through the Android manifest. So just to save you a little bit of time, it's in this com exploding barrel class, um, but if you want, I can go through. All right. So I don't know if I really want to explain this. This is Android related. I'm not gonna. So we're gonna find the onCreate function essentially. Um, so that onCreate function, there are a couple tools you can use to find it. There is APK Easy tool, which it'll just auto find it for you, or you can use the Android manifest. For the sake of time, um, we know that it is in our com exploding barrel. Um, no, that's not the com folder we want. Where are you? Smalley. Oh, Smalley com exploding barrel. And this is our main activity. So if you want, you could also just search the folder for activity.smalley. That's probably the easier way to do it. Um, so we're going to open this up in a text editor. Notepad++. We're going to go and we're going to find on create. There's going to be a couple instances of this. On create permission, create queuing. So I'm just going to find the right one, and I'm going to explain what the fuck is going on here. Sorry. Checking chat real fast. So we want to find the onCreate function that creates the Unity player activity. And the Unity player, when it loads, is going to request input or request the window. So we are going to kind of piggyback on that instance of that method. So we go to onCreate. This is going to be method protected onCreate. And it should, I'm looking around for Unity player activity. Nope. So Unity, I only did this once, so. All right, so we find our Unity player activity and it's on create. So this is our Android bundle. So we know we're in the right, and here we are. All right, so on create, Unity player activity. So right here, this is just our Smalley code. There are online converters for Smalley code, but I'm just gonna, I think I put this in the files. I don't actually, maybe I didn't. Maybe I didn't include that. In any case, sorry. Uh, we are just going to hijack right here. We're gonna say line. So you can see there's some separation, line 105, 107, or 109. So we're gonna say line 107. Line 107. Um, actually, before I do that, I know this is kind of all over the place. We're going to piggyback off of this onCreate function, and we're going to specify a string, const string 0, and we're going to specify the string is going to be the name of our shared object where'd you go? Where did we put that? Hold on. We just had that thing up. Sorry. I don't really want to look where the... There you are. All right, so the name of this file, this is the name of our object file. So we're going to come back here and we're going to input that string. Not with it already knows it's a shared object file, so we don't need to specify .so. We're just going to put in the name of our mod, our injection library. So we're going to add a new line, line 107, and now we need to invoke that library. Again, if you want to go to a Smalley Java converter online, do that. I'm just going to do this directly in Smalley. So we're going to invoke static. This is going to be, so v0 is the name of our string. And then we have this really weird, so it's a Javaling system. Javaling system. I guess there's nothing in here. It's a system. All right, whatever. And we're going to load the library. And the library is the string input that we just gave it. All right. So again, we're gonna go back to what we just did. We found the onCreate method for when the app first starts. We came down to where the Unity player activity requests input. And then right after it requests input, we're going to inject our object library, or inject our library to run in its infinite loop. So we specified the name of the library with this const string, and then we invoked the library using load library and the name of the string, which is v0, or is at v0. Now, that's pretty much it in order to execute this code. So we're going to go here and save it, and then all we would need to do is come here and copy. So first we would also, before I do this, make sure that you have the right bit version. So again, ARM64 V8A. There's another one that's in the V7A that's exactly the same thing. It's just 32-bit version. I'm just going to show you for this one. So we're going to copy the 64-bit version. And we're going to go in here into the decompiled or the unpacked libraries. We don't need to edit anything like we talked about in part one. All we need to do is we need to add the new injection library to our file, and then I'm not gonna. All right. All you need to do at this point is you need to repack it back into an APK, then install it on your device, and then you'll have to use another trick in order to get um, the data info that gets pulled when you download from Play Store. Again, outside the scope of this video, because I just don't want any more modders. I did it already on my phone. It takes you straight to the tutorial, and then your mod is fine. I don't know why it goes straight to the tutorial, but whatever. But in any case, again, if you're just catching up in this part 2.1, there was a part 2 that got cut out because of Wi-Fi issues. But that's all there is to it. The mod that I showed earlier in part 2, like right at the very beginning, let's just see, RE files. Nope, that wasn't it. Tutorial. So this mod that I had showed, This contains a lot more code because it requests draw wrap permissions. It does damage multipliers. It does it, but essentially it's the same idea that we're going to be using here. So like if we want to do more, all we do is come back in here to this main CPP, find another function that we wanted to exploit, and we do another memwrite on top of that function. That's all we need to do. We now have a injection library that we can keep using over and over and over. So I hope that this makes sense. I'm gonna try to put out a blog post or some kind of post, like step by step, walking you through with the end cut off. But again, you can easily Google. I wouldn't say easy. There's some things involved in getting this thing to repack back into an APK and install on your phone, but it's not terribly difficult. In any case, I'd like to close with Kabam. This is how a lot of the modders are doing things, not by editing the actual game code, as I said in part one, in case you watched that, um, but they are doing it um, in an injection library, which is overriding things dynamically once it gets called because of the nature of how IL to CPP works. Again, if you're watching this, me and another person are uh, well equipped to help you with security services so we don't get any more modders. This helps you with your bottom line because you don't get people selling fake unit packages. There's always going to be a way to hack something, but with the industry that we're in, we constantly figure out how they're doing it and we test against it and we find ways in order to block them. And then when they find ways around that, we block them in another way. So I hope you learned something for other people who aren't Kabam watching this. If you have any questions, post them in the comments. I'll try to reply. I know this is a lot to start out with. There was a lot of snooze activity in part two, or the original part two. Um, but yeah, this is a dynamic injection library, and hope you enjoyed it.